Welcome back, everybody. Here we are for another video. I'm really excited about doing this particular plan because it's from a project that we've just finished laying out. It's for an apartment complex, and there are multiple two-bedroom layouts within this apartment. It actually kind of dominates the units. They have 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom units, and so this is the one that I said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and turn that into a model. So we're going to keep it simple. I'm going to do this thing in parts. That way you can kind of come in and just look at the titles and see which one that you actually want to look at the most. We'll go from the 3D modeling, 2D to 3D modeling, and then we'll do the doors and windows, and then we'll also do materials, then we'll do lighting. We'll add some extra 3D models within the actual model itself, and then we'll see if we can get us some nice renderings. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I've gone ahead and I've taken the liberty of creating these. That way, I know that we're all familiar with the layers, but I just want to kind of go over it. We're going to create a 3D layer for all layers that we want to create 3D polyline boundaries to export into 3D Max. Okay, so we'll have a 3D layer for our ceiling, a 3D layer for our floor, a 3D layer for the exterior walls, a 3D layer for the interior walls, a 3D layer for the patio. Everything else, when we export into or import the AutoCAD drawing into 3D Max, we're not going to bring anything else over unless you just want to use it for reference, which I do sometimes. I like to do the door swings because if you've got, say, 10 doors in your space, then you may want to actually have that door swing to show the same way that it does on the plans. So here we go. We're going to use the bpoly command to get started. We're going to make the 3D exterior layer the active layer. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this bpoly command. So we'll just type in bpoly on our keyboard. Okay, there we go. Yeah, we'll type in bpoly. It took a little while for it to pop up, but there we go. Bpoly. And then we're going to make sure that it says polylined in here with island detection selected, and then we'll click on OK. We'll click inside of the boundary, and we're going to do that everywhere that we have an exterior wall. All right, there we go. And we'll do a right click. And as you can see, it gave us a polyline boundary for every area that it found that was enclosed, and it did it on our 3D exterior wall layer. Now it also changed the color, so that way it'll also it's more easily identifiable within the drawing. So now we'll go to our 3D interior layer, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start with our bpoly command just by typing in bpoly. We're going to make sure island detection is selected. The object type says polyline, and then we're going to click on OK. All right, now let's see how many of these we can get without getting an error. Can we make it all the way through? And make sure you pay attention to these because it's nothing like getting into a drawing and having that little door or that little wall piece not in there, and you have to go ahead and model it up when you got a good pace going. Okay. All right, looking good. Looking good. Okay. And I like to just kind of do a once over just to make sure, because once we do a once over on this deal, we're pretty much done with this drawing. We'll have to put our ceiling and our floor, but we'll have to draw those in using polylines on our own. All right, we'll do a right click to accept it, and there we go. So now we'll go ahead and we'll go over to the 3D ceiling layer, and then we'll select polyline. We're going to go ahead and draw this polyline in here now. And the 3D ceiling is the active layer, so it is drawing a polyline for our ceiling in exactly the way that it's going to be. Once we pull it over there, I'm going to go to C to close, as we know where that last point is, and we get a good close. And the same thing with the floor. We're going to make the floor the active layer, and then we'll go right over here to the polyline tool, and then we're going to draw another one. And this is for the floor. Okay, now, so we have our floors, and we have one more to go, and that is our patio. Alright, so we've just made the patio layer the active layer, and then we're going to go to polyline. We'll come in here. You know what? We can use our B poly on that one as well. B poly, hit OK. There it is. Alright, so now we have all of our polylines. We have everything we need to be able to take this over into 3D Max, and then we're gonna do that, and then we'll get this thing going. See you in a bit. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Here we are now. We're only about 6 minutes in. It didn't take us that long at all to get what we needed to put over in here on Max, and that was kind of with me explaining it to you. So here we are now. I have this scene here that I'm beginning to set up just to kind of make some things go a little quick for us, but I promise to take my time. And if you have any questions over why I did something, or even suggestions on how to improve it, hey, feel free to chime in and do that. Oh, and by the way, hit like and subscribe. You know, trust me, there's people at all different kinds of levels at this, and you know, the more it's out there, the more it can help. You just never know. I'm always on here, just kind of looking to see what other people are doing, and kind of seeing some different techniques and ways. And I can tell you, a lot of the things that I see, I know how to do, but someone might do it just a little bit differently than what I do. So respect to everyone. We're going to start out here. We'll just go File. We're going to import our CAD drawing. All right. So let's see. Here we'll go bloop bloop. We're going to import our CAD file. Now remember when I told you, I said we only want to, well, for me, I like setting up the layers just so that I can, you know, import the layers that I need. I'm going to also bring in my doors layer, you know, because those doors are going to show me the directions of their swing. So I'm going to bring in that layer, but that's it as far as for those original drawings. But from here, we're going to go ceiling. I'm going to select the 3D exterior, the 3D floor plan, the 3D interior, the 3D patio, and that's it. Then I'm going to hit OK, and then I'll have all my layers, and it will also show me the door swings. You can see the door swing. So when I put my doors in, I want to make sure that my doors are actually swinging in the way that the plan indicates, because, you know, who knows, maybe the very final video series, the very final video that I do in this series will animate this room. We may put a camera in here and have it to go and look inside of every room with the doors opening, and, you know, all kinds of little neat things. I'm going to hit the G on my keyboard. That'll turn this grid off just so that I can be able to see a little bit better. As we can see, everything here is flat. We don't have to worry about scaling anything down. Nothing was drawn in 3D in AutoCAD. So, but now we have our plan in here. I'll show you just how quickly we can turn this 2D layout into a 3D plan. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on our exterior wall. Okay. When we click on our exterior wall, we're going to go over here to the Modify panel, right over here. It's the second one. Then we're going to click on the Modifier List tab, the drop-down arrow, and we'll come down to where it says Extrude. right there. We'll click on the extrude command. And once it extrudes, it's going to extrude to basically be flat. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to type in 10 feet. So we're going to type in 10 feet right here to give these walls, to give our exterior walls a wall height. 10 feet, and there we go. Simple, right? Okay. Now, as you can see, they all came out in black, and that makes it kind of difficult for us to see. So I'm gonna put a quick material on it that will allow us to see a little bit better. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to also do our interior wall. So click on that interior wall right there, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Come over to our command panel, click on the Modify tab, and then we're going to go to the Modifier List drop down, and we're going to also pick on Extrude as well. And there we go. So now it's going to use the last number that was used for the exterior wall, but we only want these walls to go up 9 feet. Okay, so we'll type in 9 feet right there in the amount section, and then it's going to extrude those interior walls up 9 feet. Now I'm going to go over here to my materials real quick. So you just type in the letter M on your keyboard, and you can just throw a gray on it or something that will allow you to be able to see better. We're going to turn on edge faces here in a minute, but you can grab a hold of this, just lift it and drag all the way till it gets to that 3D interior layer, and there you go. Bam, you can see it. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing with the exterior. All right, we'll come right over here, we'll put it onto the, and there you go. Okay, simple. All right, now we can see this a lot better. All right, to pan around, to do an easy pan around, you just click on your middle mouse button, hold down the Alt key on your keyboard, and you can turn her like this, just like that. Okay, see how like right now everything looks nice and nice, and it's supposed to have a realistic look. We're going to take that off anyway, but if you hit the F4 key on your keyboard, you see how it shows all of the edges. You hit the F4 key again, and it takes the edges off. You hit the F4 key again, and it shows you all the edges. That's going to help you to be able to. That's going to help your workflow a little better. You hit the F3, and it'll take you into wireframe mode. Okay, so now and we're going to actually be in wireframe mode a good bit while we're bridging our overheads for our doors. Okay, so but what I'm going to do right now is let's go ahead and click on our floor. Okay, so we have our floor layer selected right now. We're going to give it an extrude as well. Come over to your command panel, go to your Modify tab, and then we're going to extrude. We're going to go -1 foot. Type in -1 foot, and it's going to extrude it 1 foot down instead of 1 foot up. Okay, good job. Now we're going to type the letter H on your keyboard. See, that brings up it gives you the opportunity to go and select one of your layers. So right now we're going to select our ceiling. That way we don't accidentally click on anything and move it out of the way or anything like that. So you double click on that, and we're going to move that. Let me see here. Here's our move transform. Do a right click on the move transform, and then we're going to type in our Z coordinate, our Z world coordinate. We're going to type in 9 feet. Alright, so it just moved it up 9 feet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to extrude our ceiling 1 foot in the positive. Extrude. See, it's already on -1 foot. We want to extrude it up positive 1 foot. Oh, it's still on 1. There we go. Okay, so now we have that extruded up at 1 foot. Okay, we've got one more in here, and that is we need to handle our patio. So we're going to click on our patio floor, come over to the command panel, and we're going to click on the modifier drop down, and then we're going to extrude it -1 foot. And there we go. Okay, and I'm going to come back over here in my materials. I'm going to press the M on my keyboard because I want to be able to see everything. I like to see everything clearly. I don't like to try to guess what it is. And I'm also pretty anal when it comes to naming things as well. So I'm going to, I said concrete. There we go, patio. It's already on a gray color. We'll go ahead now and we'll pull that over to the patio. There we go. Okay, and then we'll click here on our ceiling, and I have a material for the ceiling. Like I said, this is really just so we can see. If you see this button here, it says assign material to selection. We already have the ceiling selected, so we can just click on that. That way we don't drag the material over to something else. Now let's click on our floor, and then we're going to click on something to give the floor some color. And you don't have to have materials for these. You can literally just make everything all white. But for me, I just find it easier to work with whenever I'm doing these. So now I'm going to save that. And what you'll see here is that we have, well, and what command do we use to turn our shading back on? F3. And then also F4 for our edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on our ceiling. We're going to hide our ceiling, okay? You can click on it, select it, make a right click, and go to hide selection. Now we can see all of our walls. We can see all of our walls, we can see our floors. And if you notice, we don't have any doors and windows, but that's what we're going to work on here in the next video. Okay, I'm just simply pressing down the middle mouse button and holding down the Alt key on the keyboard. Alright, so, and that's it for this video. I'll see you on the next section.